What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Football Game Show brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy here on Better Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my co-host, Joey, right? What's up, Joey?
Oh, man. Lots is up. I'm here. I've got my drink. I'm ready to play Fantasy Fortune. Lot is up.
Well, Joey, you've got a fierce competitor today to play against you in some Fantasy Fortune. Our great friend, Teddy Ricketson, is here with us. For those of you that do not know Teddy, you can find him on Twitter at Teddy Ricketson. Ignore the hideous banner photo and go straight for the awesome fantasy football content. He's a staff writer over at DK Live. And Teddy, we love having you, even if you got a big old Gamecock as your banner. How's it going, my friend?
That's good, man. Hey, I'll take one more season of being confident in my football team before we forego divisions next year and welcome OU in Texas. So we'll see how it goes. But for now, excited to be here and super pumped to be in the Scott Fish Bowl again. I know a lot of people have gotten their invites today, so congrats to everybody.
Yeah, congrats to everybody that got in. And go pick your divisions. It's so much fun scrolling through and looking at all of them. There's some sick ones this year. We got some people in the chat ready for today's show.
All right.
First of all, we got to shout out our friend Craig, who went through and not only found the poll perception highest and lowest scores. There's now a spreadsheet that he tweeted out. I retweeted it today. I think everyone on the FYF team did. You can check our Twitters, check Craig's Twitter for the stats, the highest and lowest scores of all time at every game. Every final score from every game can be found in there. I'm going to go in and start finding like ESPN level statistics of like cherry picked stats on Tuesdays. I've had the highest score. And we're going to have something ready for every show. But Craig, and you're saying the highest individual winning score for Fantasy Fortune, both Josh Fuster and Simon got 15,100. And the lowest winning score was 2,300 by JL. So Teddy and Joey, those are the bars for today. High score, 15-1. There's only two contestants, so you might have a better shot at doing it.
Yeah. What's the lowest score? What's what am I aiming for?
I think somebody's had zero on Fortune before.
Need to finish with at least $1.
I think zero is the lowest score for almost all of our games. We got Dustin in the chat. What's up, Dustin? Welcome in, my friend. And Ladarius down here, all hyping up Craig. What's up, Ladarius? Yeah. We've got Jay in the chat. What's up, Jay? He said, congrats on your SFB invite, Dustin. What up, Dustin? Congrats. Victor.
Dustin. Yeah, congratulations, buddy. You've been a big supporter of FYF, so we're glad to see you get in there.
Victor down here saying, what's up, bro chachos? Happy Monday. What's up, bro chacho? Welcome in, Victor. And we got Grim in the chat saying, what's up, dudes? Albert down here. Welcome in, Albert. And we got our favorite Canadian, Toronto Dave, in the chat. What's up, Dave? Glad to have you in here.
Dave.
Scampers joining us, our favorite chat cat. And Grim wanted to kick us off with a question for today before we get in there, if I can find it. Grim wanted to know, how much stronger is that Bills defense with the signing of Leonard Floyd? So let's start with that before we get to the Brashad Perryman portion of this question. Teddy, what do you think about this Leonard Floyd signing for an already strong Bills defensive line?
I mean, it'd be kind of weird if they took a step back, right, from, by signing him. So, I mean, obviously I think it's going to improve, especially with, Ed Oliver also getting the, re-signed and everything to not have to play only under his fifth-year option. So, I think that they know they're going to have to do their part to like actually help this team get to a Super Bowl while they still have the peak years of Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. So, I think that the defense should take a step forward in what's going to be another year of a very competitive AFC.
Joey, from the Leonard Floyd perspective, not from the Bills perspective, this is another short-term deal for someone that's considered a top-tier defensive player, or at least has been in years past. What do you think of this strategy, this approach? Do you think he's betting on himself, or is this just what he's worth in today's NFL market?
Maybe a little bit of both. I think he might be betting on the Bills a little bit. They do seem pretty Super Bowl ready.
So if you're a player,
the second part of this question,
if you're a player looking for a 1-year deal, the Buffalo Bills might not be a bad place to go.
DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah.
Come on, DeAndre Hopkins. Joey, you said you were excited for the second part of this question. Where do you see Brashad Perryman fitting in that Colts receiving core?
So this is a player I doubly love because he was a Buccaneers and he was a UCF Knight. But I don't see him fitting in too well. I think he'll be a good bench depth for them. But with Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman, and Josh Downs, I think those are the top 3 receivers for the Colts this season.
Do you have any more optimism for Perryman, Teddy?
So I don't. I think the thing to point out there, I have optimism for Perriman, not from a fantasy football perspective. The thing to point out there is that the wide receiver trio that Joey just named is very young, and Perriman has a lot of experience. And so while I think his benefit is going to be more off the field / at practice, I don't think that he's going to be rosterable this year.
That makes sense. We got Craig down here giving us some stats for today's show and letting you know that someone has scored 0. The first game of Fantasy Fortune ever had 3 zeros, Teddy. JL, Jim Coventry, and myself. So you're joining some good company with Jim and then some rough company with me and JL if you end with a 0. We got Dame in here saying, what's up? Happy Monday, Dame. Glad to have you in here. And we got Andrea saying, hi, everyone. You're just in time because we're about to get into our game of Fantasy Fortune for today. Before we do that, a couple reminders. First and foremost, if you're not already following our friend Teddy on Twitter, you need to go and remedy that right this instant. He's on Twitter at Teddy Ricketson. It's right there below his handsome face on the screen, and you can also find it in the description of this YouTube video if you're watching on our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy or on the Better Sports YouTube channel. After you follow Teddy, if you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. And Joey, we got something fun going on tonight.
What we do? What?
Did no one let you know? Yeah, Joey and I are
chair's
live.
Broken. Oh my God, it's going haywire on a Monday. What's going on tonight?
Whether Joey's ready for it or not, myself, Joey, and our friend Tim Wright are going to be live for some fantasy football pub trivia, and it is Dungeons and Dragons themed tonight, baby. So we're going to have 30 questions, 3 rounds, 10 rounds apiece. They will be D&D X NFL questions, most of them. So even if you're not a big D&D fan, stop by, play some trivia with us. That's tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. All you got to do is download that Better Sports Network app. The questions are going to show up in there, and you're going to play along.
I was sending Dustin a congratulatory message on Twitter. You caught me off guard.
Gotcha. All right. Also, Dustin wanted to know, why is Simon Adam B? It's just what I was feeling today. Sometimes we're Simon, sometimes we're Adam B, and sometimes we're late for dinner. Yes. You guys ready to get into our game?
Sure thing,
Absolutely.
Adam.
The game we're playing today is called Fantasy Fortune. It's a lot like the popular TV show Wheel of Fortune, but with an NFL or fantasy-related twist. Instead of spinning a wheel, contestants are going to be answering 50-50 fantasy or NFL-related trivia questions. Get the question right, you are going to get to guess a letter that you think appears on the board. You're going to be able to do this up to 3 times in a row. That is, get a question right, get a letter right. If at any point during your turn, either of those things are wrong, your turn is going to immediately end, and we will go on to the next person. Now, if you do get 3 in a row right, that is question and letter, you're going to get to bank all of that money from your round bank into your total bank. You'll have 5 seconds to solve, but then we're going to move on to the next contestant. During your turn, you can choose 2 other actions besides answering questions and guessing a letter. Both of these have to be chosen before a question has been asked. You can choose to buy a vowel at a cost of 100 per instance that it shows up with a max of 500. So you're going to have a minimum of $500 in your round bank to do that. Or you can choose to solve the puzzle, where you will bank all of the money you've earned so far in your round bank, or $1,000, whichever one is higher. We'll go like this so we run out of puzzles, run out of time, or run out of water and my throat gets too dry, at which point the person with the most money will be the champion of today's Fantasy Fortune. Are you guys ready?
Oh,
sure.
I'm ready. Yeah.
Let's do it. Also, Mr. Scampers down here says, when is Scott Fish's question about when pub trivia is? I think that's at 7 p.m. tonight, Mr. Scampers, if I'm not mistaken, an hour before pub trivia.
Let's not tell Scott. And then tonight, I'll text him afterwards, like, Scott, like, you ask all the time, when's pub trivia? We've sent you, like, reminder after reminder, and you didn't even show up tonight. It's going to be fun.
You know, Joey, what's actually going to happen is he's going to text us immediately right after, before we can play him, and say, why didn't you tell me about pub trivia tonight? I've been asking for months. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and pull up this first puzzle. All the rules I just told you, Teddy, you remember those?
Yeah. Just don't
forget them,
hopefully,
because this first puzzle is entirely different. This is a toss-up puzzle, which means I'm going to slowly reveal letters in an NFL player's name. Whenever you think you know the NFL player, buzz in by saying your own name. You're going to get one shot at this. Whoever gets it first earns $500 and gets to go first in the next round. I'm going to go ahead and start revealing. Say your name when you think you know it.
Joey.
Joey,
that
you got
took
him first.
Far too long to get that. That is George Kittle.
with only the entire first name on the board that is in fact George Kittle. Joey, that's going to earn you $500 into your bank. Congratulations.
I almost yelled George, so I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I remembered those rules too.
George.
Yeah.
Joey, before we move on from this player or from this puzzle into our first real puzzle of the game, I wanted to talk to you guys about George Kittle because it feels like he's always right there when we're talking about the best fantasy tight ends. And it's because when he's on the field, he's George freaking Kittle. But do you think he can put together a consistent season? Because I do feel like that's been the knock on him.
I think you hit the nail on the head when you said when he's on the field, he's George Kittle. We need him on the field. I feel like that's been the issue with George Kittle. Even if it's just leaving games early, he plays with such a reckless, fun style that sometimes he's out of the games quickly and you don't get those big monster games out of him. But when he's there for a full game, you do. I do think he's a tier below where I see Kelsey and Andrews right now. I put him right there next to TJ Hawkinson in their own tier together.
Teddy,
I like him for this year, but I definitely have him behind Andrews and Kelsey.
Teddy, do you have a similar number of tight ends ahead of Kittle in your rankings going into this season?
Yeah, I still think it's those two. The tough part with him is just with his situation of not only his play style is that from what we kind of know as far as what the 49ers are going to do as quarterback is that we don't know what they're going to do at quarterback is that it may also be not only his play that's inconsistent, but his quarterback play that's inconsistent. Now, he's so talented of a player that I don't think it's going to drop him down any like tiers or anything when it comes to his performance, but it's just going to be something that he's going to have to get used to.
Now, Teddy, would you rather have Brock Purdy or Trey Lance? Who would you rather be the quarterback there for him?
For Kittle, I'd say Trey Lance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grim fan down here saying we lost Adam B, but we did not lose George Kittle for fantasy. Nope. He seems to be slipping a little bit. People are excited about some of the other maybe younger and newer names at tight end that are breaking into that top tier. I might be drafting some more George Kittle this year. You guys ready to move into puzzle number 2? The first one following the rules I said previously.
Yep.
Let's do it. The category for this puzzle is NFL player TV show mashup. In the past, we've had something like Tim, Patrick, and Morty has been one. So it's going to be a TV show and a player name smushed together with varying degrees of creativity and eye rolling. This one comes to you from our friend Jay Felicio. So shout out G-Man Jay on this one. Joey, you are up first. Would you like a question? Would you like to solve, or would you like to quit? Because you can't do anything else yet.
Ooh, I can quit?
Yeah, I guess you can always quit.
Got this Danielle Steele romance novel sitting on the bedside table I've been wanting to read, but I'm going to play it today. I'll take a question, please.
Okay, Joey, who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points? And all of my fantasy points questions will be PPR.
Okay.
Was it Chris Godwin or was it Drake London?
I'm still going to go with Godwin.
And you would still be right, Joey. Which letter would you like?
T.
T? There's one T in this puzzle. Can add 500 to your round bank. You now have another option open to you. You can choose to buy vowels if you would like to do so.
I want a question.
Also, a reminder to our contestants out of the chat. Make sure you have the screen full size so you can't see the comments coming in. And a reminder to everyone in the chat, play along with us. Throw your answers in the chat. If you get it before our contestants, we'll shout you out. And if you make us giggle, we'll giggle. That's pretty self-explanatory.
I feel like you knew that I wasn't full screen because I didn't think of it. So that I feel attacked.
Once I look over at the chat, I remember because I'm like, oh, shoot, Dame's in here.
Fair.
She's about to put that answer in.
Good call.
Joey, would you like another question?
I would. I'd like to say that this is not Eureka's Matt Castle. That was for some reason what was in my head, but
it is not. But here's your next question. Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points? Was it Christian Watson or was it Jacoby Myers?
Christian Watson.
I'm sorry, Joey. It was Jacoby
Myers,
the number 29 PPR wide receiver compared to Christian Watson at 41. So, Teddy,
I also would have said Christian Watson.
Man, those 8 touchdowns. Simon, I'll believe you because you have the numbers in front of you, but I don't believe you.
Thank you, Joey. I appreciate the belief because of the statistics. Teddy, you're up. Would you like a question? Would you like to solve?
I'll quit. No, I'll take a question.
Here's your question. Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Garrett Wilson or was it Mike Williams?
I'm going to say Garrett Wilson.
And you would be correct. Which letter would you like, Teddy?
Thank God. Let me do S, please.
S. There is one S in this puzzle. Going to add 500. You can now choose to buy a vowel if you would like to do so, or we can move on to question number 2, or you can solve.
We'll go question number 2.
Okay. Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Cortland Sutton or was it Curtis Samuel?
I'm going to say that it was Cortland with no confidence.
Well, with no confidence, Teddy, you are absolutely incorrect, which means we are going to move on to Joey's turn. Curtis Samuel had that stretch there at the beginning.
Yeah.
A couple games at the end that pushed him just over Cortland. Joey, we're back to you. What's the move?
I'm going to buy an A. I'm going to buy an A.
Yeah. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A's. Gonna get rid of all your money.
Okay, I've got whatever TV show it is.
Would you like another question, Joey? Would you like to solve?
Yeah, what a question.
Okay, here is your question. Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Samaje Perine or was it Raheem Mostert?
Samaje Perine.
I'm sorry, Joey. That was Raheem
That's so
Mostert.
because you know I love him.
Which means, Teddy, we are on to you. Would you like a question? Would you like to solve, or would you like to buy a vowel?
We're definitely not solving it. So let me go ahead and just take a question.
Okay, who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Jamal Williams or was it David Montgomery?
That's got to be Jamal Williams, right?
It does got to be Jamal Williams. Which letter would you like, Teddy?
Insane with touchdowns. Let me take M as in Mario.
There are 2 M's in this puzzle. Going to add 1,000 to your round bank. Your options remain the same. You can buy a vowel, solve, or take your second question.
I will take another question.
Okay, who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Cam Akers or was it Breece Hall?
Oh, you're mean for that one. The battle of the injuries. Okay. I'm gonna take Cam Akers.
And you would be correct, Teddy. Nice job on that one. Which letter would you like?
Let me take a C, please.
A C.
I feel like Joey knows, and I have no clue what it is.
In this puzzle, going to add another 500. Teddy, this is your last opportunity to buy vowels this term, if you would like to do so. Otherwise, we can move into your third question, or you can solve this puzzle.
I'm not going to be solved. Let me buy an O, please.
An O. There is 1 O in this puzzle.
Okay, good.
You can buy more vowels if you would like.
I'll buy an E, because clearly I'm grasping at straws.
There are 3 E's in the puzzle, and that is all of the vowels.
Got it.
Would you like your third and final question, Teddy?
Yes.
Here we go. Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it A.J. Dillon or was it James Conner?
I'm going to take A.J. Dillon.
A.J. Dillon would be correct. Oh, wait. What was James Conner? I'm sorry, was the correct answer. I just 100% lied to you. I wanted you to be right.
No, you're good.
I
know it now. So.
It's James Conner. Joey, we're on to you, and it looks like you want to solve.
Yeah, and this is really cheap. I'm sorry, Teddy, to do this.
No, you're fine. I didn't get it until he started reading the question to me.
Grey's Anatomical Hardman.
This is Grey's Anatomical Hardman. Joey, that is absolutely correct. You are going to earn the minimum of $1,000 into your bank, giving you a slight lead over Teddy.
I have a question. Can we spell anatomy in case? Isn't there an O in anatomy?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, someone.
There's also a Y, but
like I understand the spellings of things when you need to make it work, but that didn't need to happen.
Yeah. So
So
this is called a creative license when developing the puzzles.
this is so we don't get sued by ABC. Got it.
Right.
Got it.
And
got it.
to read
Fine,
it
I'll
as
take half the money.
okay. Guys,
Make
it would have been a
fair.
liability to put Gray's Anatomy, Cole Hardman.
Yeah,
Right.
I got it.
It just wouldn't have quite worked. The chat was on this one. Who was in there getting it first? I think Mr. Scampers came in with Gray's Anatomy, Cole Hardman, spelling it properly and everything. And
But
Dustin
they would not be correct on the show. They would be disqualified because they didn't. Yeah,
correct. And Dustin using Gray's Anatomy.
that's where I was, Dustin.
Nice
I
job,
had the
guys.
show.
They were figuring this one out. Also, Grimfan said, can we tweet you puzzle ideas for future shows? Or
Yes.
is it just for the people that run the YouTube channel? Do not tweet them publicly because then all the other people will see them as well. But send them to us in DMs. You can send them to Jay and he can distribute as see fit to the people running the show, or you can send them to us individually if you have one of us who you want to use that puzzle.
Also, when you send those puzzles to G-Man J on Twitter, make sure to include a picture of your favorite barnyard animal. Thank you. I'm going to make it happen.
Your favorite barnyard feat.
Yes.
Teddy, do you have any hope for Mecole Hardman this year on the Jets? Is this the year finally that the fast receiver that we've been waiting for can make it happen?
I mean, I feel like I have the same hope that he had when he was with the Chiefs. You know, like I feel like if their offense is working how it should, he should be involved and he should be that versatile player for them. But it's just like, you know, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be helpful, but I don't think that he's like, I don't know where he's getting drafted at the moment for like ADP wise or anything, but I don't think that he's going to be like higher than he would have been if he was still on the Chiefs.
Joey, do you agree or do you have more optimism with Rodgers?
I'm pessimistic, and it has to do with Aaron Rodgers, not because of Aaron Rodgers' talent, but it usually takes him a few seasons to get on the same page with his wide receivers. Usually about 3 seasons, and coming into one season with Mecole Hardman, it's a little tough for me to see happening. Although Garrett Wilson, I think, is going to be fine. Mecole Hardman, I'm a little more worried about.
Dustin says, stop trying to make Mecole Hardman a thing. I don't think that'll stop. Any player that's ever been tried to make a thing, they're continued to be tried to make a thing until the day they retire. And then even then, sometimes past that. Look at Josh Gordon. I'm still trying to make him a thing. Also,
attacking.
Victor Danielson sending pics of cows to Jay. Got it. If you're sending cow pics specifically, send those my way as well. Those are my favorite animal. You guys ready to get into round 2 here?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. Puzzle number 3, round number 2 of the game.
No.
The category is, what are you doing?
Cheating on the Front Yard Fantasy game show.
This is going to be something that you might be doing related to the NFL or fantasy football, something like cheating on the Front Yard Fantasy game show. Joey got that last one right, which means Teddy is first on this one. Teddy, would you like to solve this puzzle or would you like a question to start us off?
I will take a question because
Okay.
I have no idea.
Well, this first question is going to come to you from the FanDuel Sportsbook. Before we get into that, a reminder to everybody here watching, if you go to fantasyalarm.com/FanDuel, you can join the FanDuel Sportsbook and deposit $10 to get a first bet up to $1,000. So you get $1,000 in bonus bets. That's at fantasyalarm.com/FanDuel. Teddy, my question for you is, which of these teams is currently more favored or has the better odds to win the Super Bowl next season? Is it the Los Angeles Chargers? Or is it the Seattle Seahawks?
I'm going to say that it is the Chargers.
The Chargers would be correct. Which letter would you like, Teddy?
Going with a T.
A T.
T for Teddy.
T for
T
Ted.
for Teddy. There are 2 T's for Teddy in this puzzle.
Ooh.
It's going to give you $1,000. You can buy a vowel, you can solve, or you can take your second question.
I'll take another question.
Okay. Here is your next question. What I want to know is which of these players is more favored, who has the better odds to lead the league in passing yards next season? Is it Jalen Hurts or is it Lamar Jackson?
I am going to say that it is Hurts.
At plus 2,500 to plus 4,000, you are correct, Teddy. Jalen Hurts is more favored to lead the league in passing yards next year. Which letter would you like?
Let me do N as in Nate Burleson.
N as in Nate Burleson, and there are 2 of those in here. Going to give you another 1,000, Teddy. What's next?
I will.
This is your last opportunity to buy a vowel if you would like to do so.
I will buy a vowel, and I will buy an I, please.
An I. Before you do that, we got Dave Kluge in the chat saying, "Sup, boners?" What's up, Dave? Welcome in, my friend.
Hi, Dave.
Can't wait to play with you later this week. We got a new game just for you.
Oh.
We're bringing some Feeling Lucky Punk over from the morning show just for Dave on Thursday, I believe. All right. Teddy, you asked for a vowel, correct?
Yeah, buy an I, please.
Well, there are 4 I's in this puzzle. We're going to subtract 400 from your round score, but you can choose to buy more vowels. Take your next question.
I will take another question, please.
Okay. My question for you is, which of these players, according to the FanDuel Sportsbook, is more likely to lead the league in rushing yards next season? Is it Austin Eckler or is it Dameon Pierce?
That's tricky.
I'm going to go with Dameon Pierce.
And Teddy, you saw straight through the trick at plus 3,000 to Austin Eckler at plus 5,000. Dameon Pierce is the correct answer. Which letter would you like?
Let me take a G, please.
G. There is one G in this puzzle. You got 5 seconds to solve, or we're going to move on to Joey.
I don't want to throw anything out there, just don't want to give him a hint.
Is not the correct answer, Teddy, which means we're going to bank that $2,100. And we're going to move on to Joey.
Yeah.
I believe it's MMHMM. At least that's how Reliant K spelled it when they released their album back in 2011. All right, Joey. What?
I would like a question. I'm ready to cut through all this red tape and just start getting this stuff right.
Okay, well, Joey, you're going to play over in the FanDuel Sportsbook a little bit too. Which of these teams has better odds to win the Super Bowl next season? Better odds to win the Super Bowl next season. Is it the Denver Broncos or the Jacksonville Jaguars?
If I had $1,000 and I had to put it somewhere on the FanDuel Sportsbook, I'd put it on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Joey, that is the correct answer. At plus 2,500 to the Broncos at plus 4,500. Which letter would you like?
An H.
An H. There are 2 H's in this puzzle. Going to add 1,000 to your round bank. We also got Scott Fish in the chat saying, no! I forgot to tune in. Oh, and Scott, you missed us telling you what time pub trivia is. Hopefully we'll say it again before the end of the show.
Yeah.
All right, Joey. You asked for another question, right?
I did. And I would like one more question, please.
Okay, Joey. Here is question number 2 coming your way. Which of these players has better odds to lead the league in passing yards next season? To lead the league in passing yards next season. Is it Geno Smith or is it Daniel Jones?
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith is correct. Joey, which letter would you like?
I want to go with a C for cat.
Joey, there are no C's in this puzzle, which means we're moving on to Teddy. Teddy, are you ready for your next question, or would you like to solve this puzzle?
I'm going to need another question.
Okay. Here is your next question. Which player had more rushing yards last season? Which player had more rushing yards last season? Was it Christian McCaffrey or was it Ramondre Stevenson?
I'm going to play Homer and say CMC.
And CMC would be correct. Nice job, Teddy. Which letter would you like?
Thank you. Let me try an R, please.
An R. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 R's, Teddy. Bringing in 2K with that one turn.
Okay, I'm going to need another question.
Okay. My question for you, Teddy, is who had more rushing yards last season? Who had more rushing yards last season? Was it Josh Allen or was it Jeff Wilson Jr.?
Josh Allen, the quarterback, correct?
Yes, Josh Allen, the quarterback.
Okay. Making sure you weren't being sneaky. Okay. I'm going to take Jeff Wilson. I feel like I fell into the trap, but that's fine.
You did not fall into the trap, Teddy. It was a double trap. Jeff Wilson is the correct answer. Which letter would you like?
Let me take a let's do an S, please.
An S. There are no S's in this puzzle. Which means it's back over to Joey.
Before I take a question, because that's what I'm going to do, Teddy, I want to congratulate you on your move to the Bay Area since you called CMC a homer pick.
Oh yeah, appreciate it. No, I'm in my heart. He's in my heart. He's still a Panther.
Joey,
Question,
which player had more rushing yards last season? Which player had more rushing yards last season? Was it Daniel Jones or was it Chuba Hubbard?
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones is correct. Yeah. Joey, which letter would you like?
I don't know. I'm so excited about that. I will take an L.
There is one L in this puzzle. Going to add 500. What's the move, Joey?
The move is the move is to that's not right.
Buy a vowel, take a question, or solve.
I will buy a.
There are 2 A's in this puzzle. Going to subtract 200.
It didn't help me either.
I'll buy an E.
There are 3 E's in this puzzle. Going to subtract an additional 300. Your options remain the same.
Sure, there's not one more A.
Yeah, unless it's wrong, which I would never do.
I'll take a question.
Okay, my question for you, Joe, is who had more rushing yards last season? Who had more rushing yards last season? Was it Latavius Murray or was it Isaiah Pacheco?
Isaiah Pacheco.
That is absolutely correct, Joey. Which letter would you like?
God. I'm going to take, against my better judgment. Oh, no, I can't do that. I'm going to take a P.
A P?
Yeah.
There are no P's in this puzzle, which means we are on to you, Teddy. Teddy, would you like to solve? Would you like to buy a vowel? Or would you like to take a question?
I'm going to have to do a question because I just don't have the first word.
Okay. Who had more receiving yards last season, Teddy? Who had more receiving yards? Was it Stephon Diggs or was it Devonta Smith?
I'm going to say that it was Devonta Smith.
I'm sorry. It was Stephon Diggs with over 1,400 last season, which means, Joey, we're on to you.
Yeah, I was just playing coy. Let's go. Question, please.
Okay. Who had more receiving yards last season? Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it Garrett Wilson or was it Travis Kelce?
Oh,
the answer to that question is Travis Kelce.
That is correct, Joey. Which letter would you like?
I'm going to do it now. I'm going to take a V.
There are no V's in this puzzle. Which means we are back to you, Teddy. You said, "Oh my God, like you might have it." You can't solve it.
No, Teddy.
Rebuilding for the 5th year in a row.
It is rebuilding for the 5th year in a row. Nice job, Teddy. That's going to earn you $2,000.
I could not get rebuilding for the longest time.
The chat was on this one. Mr. Scampers, we got for the 5th year in a row from Craig, and then Scampers coming in with that at the same time. And then finally putting it all together, rebuilding for the 5th year in a row.
What a puzzle.
Is loving it. Scampers pulling that one out. And Grim Fan came in a little bit later as well with it too. Nice job, guys. Scott Fish, so close. Rebuilding for the filth bear in a rut.
8 o'clock.
Yeah, that's it. That's at 8 o'clock. That's what we're doing. All right.
All we're doing at 8 o'clock tonight, Scott.
Before we move on from this one, Teddy, I feel like this is a quietly contentious point in Dynasty Fantasy Football, what it means to actually be rebuilding. Some people say you should never truly be rebuilding. How do you view the rebuilding versus competing dichotomy in Dynasty?
So I will be the first person to acknowledge that my preferred format of fantasy football is just redraft. The years that I have played Dynasty, it has been I've drafted a win now team because I've seen people that have just gotten into the cycle of rebuilding and thus they just don't make any progress. So if you're rebuilding for the 5th year in a row, I just, I don't know exactly how you get out of it, but yeah, it's definitely something that can happen. And a lot of people, especially when we come out of the NFL draft, everyone's just instantly shipping off, draft picks and everything. So, I mean, it's definitely something that can happen.
Joey, do you feel similarly to it? Do you feel like you see people getting stuck in the rebuilding loop?
I mean, I would say people that try to rebuild in the beginning of seasons, of their fantasy seasons, I see them get stuck in that rut. I would really try to only ever rebuild if If I knew I was going to miss the playoffs. Like, I'm always trying to play to win, even if it's maybe I don't know. That's a tough question.
I think my big thing is the word rebuild is a much shorter time frame than I think most people say it should be. Like, they look at rebuild as like 3 years out competing. Rebuild, you're looking to compete next season. You know what I mean? Like, if you're doing it now, you're looking to revamp, and maybe there's a 1 season where you ship it off, but that very next season you should be competing. If you're doing it like that, I'm cool with it, but you got to have a plan, not just keep getting the young players, keep getting the draft picks. Otherwise, you end up like Tim. Maybe not like Tim, who gets a bye, but you make the playoffs. You're in that like 4 to 6 range every year, just hovering in the middle. Nothing ever gets better. Nothing ever gets worse.
I think I play like you in Dynasty, Simon. I play in 3-year windows.
100%. That's my go-to. And with the rate at which Dynasty leagues turn over, you should really only ever play in a 3-year window. Craig in here says Scott Fish has only won Fantasy Fortune when James Rodriguez was on his team. Sounds like an FYF conspiracy to me. If you think we rigged that game because James Rodriguez was on, you're 100% correct. Just kidding. I wasn't on that day, so I have no idea if that game was rigged or not.
No, Scott was very much like the stereotypical like sports agent you see with the brick phone, like in Jerry Maguire. He's like, he won't come on unless he wins the game. That was Scott. Like that day, it was all really embarrassing for all of us.
We got JL in the chat saying, "My friends, what's up, JL?" And Victor said, "No, Adam B, come back." I'm back. Don't worry. You guys ready for that next puzzle?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's do this. We're going to load up puzzle number 4 of the day, the third one after the toss-up. And this one is rhyme time. We've had things like playing clarinet with Jacoby Brissett, or Jamar Chase came in first place in the big race. So it's going to have an NFL player's name and something's going to rhyme with it. Teddy got that last puzzle correct, which means Joey, you are up first.
I need to make a comeback on this one.
You do. Joey, there's a lot of letters up there on the board available. Would you like a question? Would you like to solve? Or that's it?
I would like a question, please.
Okay, Joey. Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it DK Metcalf or was it Jalen Waddle?
That's a hole question to ask me because it's tough.
From your resident a-hole, from me to you.
I'm going to go with DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf is incorrect. I'm sorry, Joey.
Jalen Waddle.
Jalen Waddle. And I just have
I knew that. I don't know what I was thinking.
Joe, you calling me an a-hole just reminded me of this weekend. I was at a graduation for a Catholic school, and the priest was giving a lesson to everybody, and he obsessed over a donut. All he did was stand there and describe a donut, like making noises while describing. He's like, and then it's got the chocolate dripping down the side, and he's holding it in front of him. And then his last message was, no one ever looks at that and says, where's the middle? He said, God doesn't judge you based on your hole. And then he walked off the stage, and that was the last thing he said.
And that was a priest saying all these wonderful
things? At a graduation. It was a beautiful lesson. But now I'm sitting here, and every time I hear a-hole, I just have that message in a donut showing up in my head.
For the record, I don't want to cause any like contention on the show. Like, I called your question an a-hole question. I didn't call you that one. So I didn't call you one.
Well, now I'm more
this time.
Because didn't Jay write these questions?
No. Jay wrote some of the puzzles.
Then you're an asshole. Okay, got it.
This puzzle was a combo Jay and myself puzzle. Teddy, you ready for your question?
Yeah, fire it my way.
Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it Amari Cooper or was it Brandon Ayuk?
You know, you're a real a-hole for this. I'm gonna take Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper would be correct. Which letter would you like, Teddy?
T.
T for Teddy.
There are 2 T's in this puzzle. We're going to start you off with $1,000.
Well, I think I got it now. No, I'll take another question, please.
Another question. Who had more receiving touchdowns last season? Who had more receiving touchdowns? Was it Christian Kirk or was it Mike Evans?
Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk is correct with 8 to Mike Evans 6. Which letter would you like, Teddy?
Let me go with R, please.
R. There is 1 R in this puzzle.
Man.
It's your last opportunity to buy vowels if you would like to do so, or we can go into your third and final question.
Let's just do another question.
Scampers put a full answer in there that perfectly fit, but then your letters messed it up. Just came in with a darn it. But that was incredible, Scampers. Just incredible. All right. Your third question, Teddy.
Yes, please.
Who had more receiving touchdowns last season? Who had more receiving touchdowns last season? Was it Christian McCaffrey or was it Adam Thielen?
Ooh, 2 Panther connections. I think Adam Thielen. I already feel bad about saying this, but I'm going Adam Thielen as my answer.
You would be correct, Teddy. Adam Thielen had more receiving touchdowns than CMC last year. Which letter would you like?
Let's do M as in Mike Evans.
M as in Mike Evans. There are no M's in this puzzle, which means, Joey, we are on to you. Would you like a question? Would you like to solve or quit?
I would like a question, but like Thielen was top 15 in red zone targets last year. So like that doesn't surprise me that he had more receiving touchdowns.
Let's see if you can repeat it on a new team. Here's your next question. Who had more receiving touchdowns last season? Who had more receiving touchdowns last season? Was it Tyler Lockett or was it Amon-Ra St. Brown?
I'm going to go Lockett.
Lockett would be absolutely correct. Joey, which letter would you like?
I feel good about that because I make that joke about Amon-Ra St. Brown falling down at the 5-yard line a lot. So, all right. I think I just broke my pinky. Ow. I would like an H.
An H. There are 2 H's in this puzzle. Gonna add 1,000. Would you like to buy a vowel? Would you like to take your next question or would you like to solve?
Oh, I would like a question.
Okay. My question for you, Joey, is who had more receiving touchdowns last season? Who had more receiving touchdowns? Was it Zach Ertz or was it Jerry Jeudy?
Jeudy had a good season. I'm going to go with Jerry Jeudy.
By 2 touchdowns, it was Jerry Jeudy. Yeah. Nice job, Joey. Which letter would you like?
I'm going to go with a S.
An S. There are 3 S's in here. Going to add 1,500. Would you like to buy a vowel? Would you like another question or would you like to solve? This is your last opportunity to buy vowels this turn.
I'm going to take a question because there's still a lot of letters up there. I need to get one right and I need Teddy to get one wrong. I need to catch up.
Okay, Joey. Who had more passing yards last season? Who had more passing yards? Was it Davis Mills or was it Dak Prescott?
Do I get points for saying they tied with the most interceptions in the league last year?
You get some moral points for that.
Okay. So Dak or Davis Mills? I will go Dak.
I'm sorry, Joey. It was Davis Mills, which means we are on to Teddy. Teddy, would you like a question? Would you like to buy a vowel or would you like to solve?
Let me just go ahead and do something productive and buy an A, please.
Okay, an A. There is one.
Never mind.
In this puzzle.
Woo!
Yeah, you're welcome, Joey. There you go. Okay, I'm sure the chat is blowing up with all the right answers now.
They're pretty far off. They're pretty far off on this one. They're starting to make some progress, but you wouldn't be doing yourself many favors by getting in there.
I will take a question.
Okay. My question for you, Teddy, is who had more passing yards last season? Who had more passing yards last season? Was it Josh Allen or was it Aaron Rodgers?
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen is correct. Which letter would you like?
Let me do a C, please.
A C. There are 3 C's in this puzzle. Going to add 1,500. Would you like another question? Would you like to buy a vowel? Would you like to solve?
Let me buy an O and hope for more than the one that I already know where it is.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4 O's in this puzzle. Going to subtract 400 from your score, Teddy. Your options remain the same.
Let me take a question, please.
Okay. Question number 2. Which of these players had more receiving touchdowns? Which of these players had more receiving touchdowns last season? Was it Jerick McKinnon or was it Christian Watson?
I'm going to take McKinnon.
McKinnon would be the correct answer with 9 to Christian Watson 7. Nice job on that one, Teddy. Which letter would you like?
Rude question.
It is rude.
Let me do a D, please.
A A D. There are no D's in this puzzle, which means Joey, we're on to you.
All right. I'm going to try to buy some vowels and get this right. I want to buy the I.
An I. There are 4 I's in this puzzle, Joey. Going to subtract 400. What would you like to do now?
I want a question.
Okay. My question for you, Joey. My question for you. We're going back to some PPR fantasy points. Is which of these players had more PPR fantasy points last season? Which of these players had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Alvin Kamara or was it Keenan Allen?
PPR fantasy points?
Yes.
Keenan Allen.
I'm sorry, Joey. It was Alvin Kamara.
I know you're a liar. And we don't like Teddy that much to make him win. Like, come on.
Agreed. Yeah.
Oh!
Which means, Teddy, we're back to you. Would you like a question? Would you like to solve or would you like to buy some more vowels?
Let me go ahead and buy the E.
Okay. An E. There is 1 E in this puzzle. Teddy keeps buying vowels in 1 vowel increments. Do you want to buy the last vowel or would you like to move on to your
let's go ahead and buy the U. Let's see what happens.
There we go. That is all of the vowels in this puzzle. Teddy, you can now solve or take your... Is this your second question or your first question?
This would be my first question.
I asked you a really rude one, didn't I? Oh, that was Joey.
Not this time. Yeah,
you're right.
That was Joey. I'll go ahead and take my question.
Okay. My question for you is who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Tyler Algier or was it Zay Jones?
I'm going to not confidently take Algier.
I'm sorry, Teddy. It was Zay Jones. Zay Jones, almost 200 PPR fantasy points last season, 198.
Ow.
Put up a pretty decent year, which means, Joey, we are on to you. No more vowels. You can solve or you can take a question. What do you want to do?
I'm going to take a question because I'm stuck.
Okay. Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Who had more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Taysom Hill or was it A.J. Dillon?
God, A.J. Dillon.
A.J. Dillon's correct. Which letter would you like, Joey?
N.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4 N's in this puzzle, Joey. Going to add 2,000 to your score. You can choose to solve this puzzle or you can go into question number 2.
Gosh, I don't want to be crude. So I'm going to take a question because I don't think that's right.
Okay. My question for you is who scored more PPR fantasy points last season? Was it Gabe Davis or was it Darius Slayton?
Who had most, what was it? Points?
PPR fantasy points.
Gabe Davis or Darius Slayton?
Correct.
Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis is absolutely correct, Joey. Which letter would you like?
G.
There is 1 G in this puzzle. Oops, I accidentally subtracted.
Why didn't I? I'm so stupid. There's a better letter up there I could have said. I want a question. God, I'm dumb for not guessing that letter.
Okay, Joey, here is your next question. Which of these players had more receiving yards? We're moving over to receiving yards last season. Which of these players had more receiving yards last season? Was it Juju Smith-Schuster or was it Alan Lazard?
Alan Lazard.
I'm sorry, Joey. It was Juju Smith-Schuster, which means we're moving over to Teddy. Teddy, would you like a question or would you like to solve this puzzle?
I'm going to attempt to solve it.
Okay.
Convincing Cooper Kupp to wash his stinky pup.
Teddy, this is in fact convincing Cooper Kupp to wash his stinky pup. You're going to bank all of that money that you earned and maybe more importantly, prevent Joey from banking the $4,600 sitting there in his round bank.
Why didn't I guess P? I knew 3 of them. I would have had,
You would have had so much money. It would have been there. Scott Fishing here said, fun fact, Cooper Kupp was named after his parents' pup. Is that true?
It doesn't matter.
Also, Tim down here says, down goes Joey. Shout out to the chat. They were working on this one. We had Dame with to wash his blank cup. Stinky. Blank Cooper Cup to wash his blank cup. Pup. Stinky pup. They were circling this one, and then Tim thought it was to wash a stinky cup. But as Craig said, I would never rhyme cup with cup. That would just be rude. All right.
Very fair.
Well, guys, we got time for one more in here. Teddy, I'm going to let you pick the last category out of these three. Would you like to do shit coaches say, NFL player serial mashup, or same team first names?
I'm so tempted to do shit coaches say because it's funny. But I'm going to do the cereal one because I'm hungry.
Okay, NFL player serial mashup is going to be our last puzzle here. Here it is. Teddy, you got that one right, which means Joey, you are up first. Would you like a question? Would you like to solve, or would you like to leave? Your face says you want to leave, which is why I presented it as an option.
No. I want a question.
Okay. My question for you, Joey, is who had more receiving yards last season? Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it Evan Ingram or was it TJ Hawkinson?
One more time with the question because I think I just solved it.
Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it TJ Hawkinson or was it Evan Ingram?
Receiving yards was TJ Hawkinson.
TJ Hawkinson is correct, Joey. Which letter would you like?
B.
A B. There is one B in this puzzle that's going to add 500.
Yeah, wait. I want to solve.
Okay, say it exactly as it is up there, Joey.
Raisin Brandon Cooks.
This is Raisin Brandon Cooks, Joey. You got that right away. One letter on the board. I think you got
Next
it with
puzzle.
no letters.
Let's go.
Joey, Joey, that's going to earn you $1,000 into your round bank. And you know what? I think you are right. We got time for one more puzzle.
Because I can't BS for 8 minutes. Let's go. Quickly.
Okay, Teddy, you are up first on this puzzle. Dave in the chat with the Joey. Holy crap. And Dustin is
that was
right
nuts.
behind you. Okay, and Dave's getting the fixes in. Well, we'll see after this puzzle if it's really rigged. Teddy, you're up first. Would you like a question or would you like to solve this puzzle?
I'm not Joey, so I'll take a question.
Okay, who had more receiving yards last season? Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it A.J. Brown or was it Terry McLaurin?
I'm going to take A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown would be correct. No trick in that one. Which letter would you like, Teddy?
You know it. T.
E for Teddy. There are 4 T's in this puzzle. Going to add 2,000 to your round bank. You can buy a vowel, you can solve, or you can take your next question.
We'll take another question.
Okay, my question for you is who had more receiving yards last season? Who had more receiving yards last season? Was it DeAndre Hopkins or was it Devontae Parker?
I'm going to go with Parker.
I'm sorry. With a mean question, it was DeAndre Hopkins, which means we're on to Joey. Joey, what would you like to do?
I will take a question.
Okay, who had more receiving yards last season? Was it Marquez Valdez-Scantling or was it Cole Kmet?
I'll say MVS.
MVS is correct. Which letter would you like, Joey?
H.
An H. There are 2 H's in this puzzle. Going to add $1,000. Another question?
I'm not going to buy vowels.
Joey's not buying vowels. Here's your next question, Joey. Who had more rushing yards last season? Who had more rushing yards last season? Was it Ramondre Stevenson or was it Austin Eckler?
Ramondre Stevenson.
Ramondre Stevenson's correct. Which letter would you like?
This is where it gets difficult. An R.
There are 2 R's in this puzzle. Going to add $1,000. Joey, that's your last opportunity to buy vowels. Though you told me you weren't doing it. You want your third question? Who had more rushing yards last season? Was it Rashad White or was it Brian Robinson Jr.?
Brian Robinson Jr.
Brian Robinson Jr. is absolutely correct, Joey. Which letter would you like?
Oh, man. I'm going to buy an...
Well, first you have to give me a letter because you got the question right.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to... Oh, man. N...
There are 2 N's in this puzzle. Joey, that was your third and final question. You got 5 seconds to solve.
Good luck, Teddy.
Okay, Teddy, it is your turn. Would you like a question? Would you like to solve? Or that's it? I guess you could buy a vowel. You got money.
Yeah, I could buy a vowel. I'm not, I got money to burn. No, I'll take a question, please.
Okay. My question for you is who had more rushing yards last season? Who had more rushing yards last season? Was it Antonio Gibson or was it Kyler Murray?
We'll take Gibby.
And you are correct, Teddy. Which letter would you like?
Let me do a B, please.
A B. There are no
As
B's.
in bullshit.
As in butthole. Yeah. Joey, we're back to you. What's up?
I want you to bank my money.
Oh yeah, good
for
call.
one. Thank you.
Also, Tim said, Teddy, buy all the vowels. Stop. Okay,
Yeah.
Joey, it's your turn. You want a question?
Yeah.
Who had more rushing yards last season? Was it James Cook or was it Devin Singletary?
Devin Singletary.
Devin Singletary is correct. Which letter would you like?
I would like, oh man, L.
L. There's one L in this puzzle. Can add 500.
Now I would like to buy some vowels.
Okay, what would you like to buy?
An A.
An A. There are two A's in this puzzle. Going to subtract 200. You can no longer buy vowels, but you can take your next question. Here is your next question, Joey. Who had more rushing yards last season? Was it Kenneth Gainwell or was it Jalen Warren?
Kenneth Gainwell.
I'm sorry, Joey. It was Jalen Warren, which means we are on to Teddy. Teddy, would you like to solve? Would you like to buy a vowel or would you like to take another question?
Remind me, if I attempt to solve and I'm wrong, what happens?
Goes to Joey.
Me.
Okay. I'll attempt to solve it.
Okay. For the win.
We have to learn to stop the run.
Oh,
Teddy, we have to learn to stop the run. You just won with a little bit of defense right there as well. Nice job, Teddy. Going to get you the victory. And Joey is in agony over there. That was a phenomenal game. Teddy, you took a huge lead. Joey almost mounted the comeback there at the end, but Teddy pulling out the victory with a clutch solve late.
The Raisin Bran thing was insane. I'm still, even my wife Brooke texted me about it, and she was like, that was nuts.
Had I not had Raisin Bran this morning, I would not have gotten it.
Okay, yeah.
Speaking of your wife, there she is in the chat
There
with the
she is.
let's go.
Yeah.
Nice job, Teddy. Teddy, anybody you want to thank?
Everybody, and including my soon-to-be new neighbor, G-Man J. So I'm very excited. I'm going to be with about a half hour of him in a couple weeks.
Well, guys, everybody watching, if Teddy's victory here today wasn't enough of a reason, I'm going to try to convince you one more time to go over to Twitter and give him a follow at Teddy Ricketson. Check out his work with DK Live as well. That is going to be it for us today. But tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time, we will be live for Fantasy Football Pub Trivia Bettercast. So come and hang out with us then. Until then, we are out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Adios, everyone.
I'm so not sleeping tonight. Like, it's not, like that pee is